Update 9.3 for World of Tanks Blitz has just been released, and in today's video we are going to be playing in the American Tier 10 tank destroyer, the T110E4. In the latest update, this vehicle received a premium, standard, and HE penetration buff. Its standard went up 10mm, its premium went up 10mm, and the high explosive went up 5mm, making the T110E4 now the only Tier 10 tank destroyer with a 150mm cannon to break over 100mm of HE penetration. For example, the Jagdpanzer E100, if we take a look at its HE, only has 94mm of high explosive pen, and that's with me running calibrated on it. A vehicle like the Object 268 carries what was the previous value of the T110E4's HE at 99mm. So it is pretty sweet to actually have a tank destroyer, especially a 150mm cannon, to break that 100 HE penetration mark. Although I will point out that it's only a 5mm buff, so in reality it's not going to change the whole playstyle all too much. Something that will help out the E4 a lot more than the HE in my opinion is the standard and specifically premium penetration buff. AP getting buffed by 10mm is actually closer to maybe about 15 to 20mm of a buff down to shell normalization. The E4 actually has incredible penetration now because the APCR is going to have over 400 mils of pen. That's pretty crazy. I mean, we just looked at the Object 268, and that thing's got like 417 mils of heat pen, and heat is a much worse round than APCR. It's just a fact, because heat does not get shell normalization, where APCR does. Now, APCR only has 2 degrees of shell normalization, but to be fair, that is 2 degrees of a less angle you're going to be looking at compared to what you're going to be looking at with the T110E4. Honestly, the E4, as many of you know, has been one of my favorite tank destroyers. In fact, especially in Tier 10, I still think it is my favorite tank destroyer. Down to the fact that, first of all, it's got a great gun, super accurate, especially after an update 9.1, Wargaming made it even more accurate. But even after they gave it an accuracy buff, the fact that now it's going to have such good pen, plus the accuracy, and it's kind of a heavy take on its playstyle almost, it just checks all the boxes for me. The T110E4 is a vehicle that can play frontline, it can play midline, and it can camp like a tank destroyer, making it an incredibly flexible vehicle. So what does the enemy team have? Well, they got a 60 TP, and I just saw something break over there, and there it is, the enemy E75, and oh boy, don't know if I want to be shot by that being a Jagdpanzer E100. We're waiting for him to turn to the side, and then we get a nice badonker into his vehicle. You'll notice the E4 actually has pretty decent camouflage. Not the best, I mean, it's still a heavily armored vehicle, so, you know, it's not carrying Leopard 1 values of camouflage, but it's not bad either. I mean, it's good enough camo to get the job done. We got the 60 TP off to the side. Unfortunately, that shell just clipped the edge of his track instead of actually penetrating his vehicle. But hey, in 3 more seconds, maybe we'll be able to connect the shell. We also got the 54 off to the side, and the 60 right in front of me. Boom! 717 damage. Very easy connection. I like the fact that the E4 can poke around a corner like this, just like a 60 TP, but you carry the alpha of a tank destroyer and you have the DPM of a tank destroyer. It's great. Unfortunately, it seems like our penetration, even though it's buffed, is not faring too well right now, but that's fine. I mean, this 60 TP is in a really, really poor situation. And, I mean, he's trying his best, I'll give him credit, but he's not going to do all too strong. Although, somehow our 50B did actually worse. So now that I've noticed what's going on in this battle, we're actually, we're losing in this battle right now, at least. I'm going to get a nice shell into the enemy Yag and probably lose about, well, let's say, Yag's going to hit me for 770, and oh, the 60 missed me. The only way we win this is if our team actually moved. That's the problem. If our team pushed on this 60, we could definitely win this. But the problem is they're not. They're just ignoring the 60, which means I'm going to lose at least 600 right here. Yep, there you go. 566 health. Still nobody thinks that shooting the 60 TP is any imminent threat, so it looks like I have to do that. But unfortunately, at this point in time, I've lost so much health that, well, this is probably the end of the road for me. But you can see where the E4 is a very, very capable tank. I mean, we've done a pretty solid job this game. It's just unfortunate that the 50B on our team YOLO'd and kind of through a decent situation we had going for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive over here, because at this point, I mean, I got 40 health. I definitely played a little bit too aggressive, I would say. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's really not much else I can do in this type of situation that I'm trying to think of here. So let's see. We got the E75, who is a one-shot, which is good news. Our Emil is not doing too great. And we also got, oh boy, that's the end of me. Yep. Well, let's see if I can maybe get some damage into the Chieftain, or maybe this Foch. Aiming and fire. There you go. Nice tap. 646 into the Foch. Not bad at all. And if the T100 actually gets his booty in the position, we could actually be in a decent scenario here. The thing I'm more worried about is like that TVP, who's most likely going to be pushing onto our mill in just a second here. Who? There you go. I was actually able to clear. That's really good news. I think we are gonna win this. Wow, good job. You know what? Our E100 didn't push at the beginning. I was a little bummed about that, but he changed my mind. He did his job. He almost blocked me there, but we came out with a victory. That was a pretty good battle to showcase where the T110E4 is such a flexible tank. You could not have done what I did in the E3. That's just a fact. You could not have poked, used your turret like, you know, the E3 doesn't have a turret. But the fact that I was able to survive that situation I was stuck in, you just would not have been able to do in the E3. Down to the very simple fact that in the E3, I would have either not been able to turn and shoot that TVP, saving my Emil 2, or at the opposite side of the spectrum, being able to shoot that Emil, or not the Emil, the Foch. I would not have been able to penetrate that shell in the Foch without exposing my entire front. Now, it's very possible that I wouldn't have been penned by the 60 or the Yag, but yeah, in all reality, the E4 is just a super flexible tank. That's why it's one of my favorite tier 10s. It's got a great gun. It's got pretty good armor. The only thing I still wish was removed from the E4 was the hatch. Either buff the hatch to be, like, needed to be premiumed to pen. I don't care if the hatch is, like, 300 thick and you can pen it every time with premium. I just want it to be kind of like a T95E6 hatch where you have to load premium to penetrate it. Or, in my personal opinion, just scrape off the hatch. That's all that needs to be done to this vehicle, and I think it would be a pretty dang strong tank. I mean, it's already strong. The E4 has the ability to poke, get a beautiful snap out, again with that fantastic accuracy, and get away with it. But the problem I find with the E4 is just why not just get rid of the hatch? It's the only thing that gets me so sad about the tank. Now, we got the TVP off to the side, and oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The accuracy is just so nice on this vehicle. A beautiful shell to the side of that TVP across the map. I don't think that guy enjoyed that all too much. Now, we do have heavies, obviously, over towards heavy side. And I'm not exactly sure what the mouse is planning on doing, but there you go. I was expecting to see a mouse come over here, but you can never be too sure. Oh! I don't know if you guys saw that, but I fired an HE shell at the Progetto, and it hit a small box in front of him instead of actually connecting into his tank, which is very sad. And that HE went a little bit low, but you know what? I'm not even going to complain, because in total, we were able to get a 700 damage fire out. In 5 more seconds, we will have another shell ready, and yeah, long live the Progetto, right? So at this moment, I obviously want to shoot this mouse over let's say the Progetto. I'm just trying to not bleed to this mouse, and there you go. Nice job, and badonk. There you go. 625 tap. Unfortunately, our VK72 bounces the shell, but that's not too much of a worry for me, because we've got so much penetration now with the buff on this vehicle. I mean, I literally just butter through this mouse. Look at that. The entire upper plate is a penetration, and because of that, I don't even need to bother aiming. I can just butter right through his tank. So is our VK going to pen it? He does. Nice job. This is where the mouse really needs a buff, in my opinion. I just don't really understand the reason why the tank is in such a sad state with the armor. But oh well. Oh well. Let's keep on pushing up. We've already dealt about 2,300 damage. Unfortunately, seems like the rest of our team isn't holding up too well in the current set of circumstances. Now that T30, it looked very close to crossing, so I'm not sure if he's going to. I don't want to get myself stuck in a crossfire here if this T30 does end up maneuvering towards the middle, but I also don't want to not get the shot into him. So what I'm going to do, So I'm going to have my 60 go that way, and then I'm going to come down this way, so that way if that T-30 gets pushed on, he's probably going to back up this way, which is exactly what you're probably going to see here in just a second, and then this guy is going to be absolutely pincered, and ooh, there you go. That's the HE I was waiting for. A 900 damage shot into the poor enemy vehicle. So we got the Kramvong off to the side, and apart from that, we got a Foch in the front, and not too much else for me to worry about. I'm trying to just think of what I want to do here. Do I want to go for the Foch? Do I want to go for the Kron? And yeah, I'm going to make my way over towards the Foch, because this guy's got the most health, and as well, we know that there is... only had the most health. I guess not anymore, but there was also a 5A over here, if I'm not mistaken, which would be a little bit more damage to add. Hello, Mr. Foch. Goodbye, Mr. Foch. So, with that aside, where is the 5A? I mean, we've already did pretty good. Oh, there he is. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for the bounce. Now, if you would be so kind, just to showcase your frontal armor to me, I will be sending you back to your garage now. I'm sorry, but it's protocol. I gotta do it. Nothing against you, bro. But there you go, 4,000 damage on the dot. Pretty good battle, huh? This is the T110E4, and this is why I enjoy the tank so much. Now, I will point out that not every game is daisies and roses with this vehicle. These are the only 2 battles I've played in the tank. As you can see, I can just drag the statistics over. So yeah, I haven't really played that many battles in the vehicle at all today. But, it's just a really fun tank in general. It's just the fact that its gun doesn't miss. The fact that it's got so much pen now in update 9.3. I really like the E3, E4. I always confuse the name, sorry. E4. I really like the E4. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this tank in the comments down below. Now, I should point out that the buff didn't really change much about the tank. Everything still plays the same, just a little bit nicer to penetrate more armor on the enemy. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!